Hello and welcome to another episode of the Appelboom Bites Podcast. Today is episode number 79 already, and we're going to have an amazing episode because we have a very, very special and creative guest here on the show today, where an amazing collaboration is going on with a huge pen brand as well, but more about that later on in the show. First, let me introduce our co-host. Today is already the fifth time that she's our co-host, and I'm super excited for it. It was a really long time because there was a vacation in between, we had the YouTube hack in between. So we have been here for a long time together with her, but today is really the fifth episode and it went by so super fast. So welcome on the show, Lori. Welcome back. How are you?
Thank you, Joost. I'm doing really well. I'm very excited for today's show. And I think just so excited to talk to Helen as my last show here. I know it feels like forever, and it feels like it went by really fast at the same time because we did have a couple breaks in between, but it's been wonderful. Thank you so much for having me as a co-host. I've really had a good time.
Yes, it was wonderful. You're so relaxed, and that makes me feel relaxed as well. So
good.
I think we are a good team.
Oh,
I think we're a
good.
good team. Yeah. All right, let me introduce our guest for today because it's the one and only Helen. She's from the Coffee Monsters company, and she's such a creative person and such a sweet person as well. So welcome on the show, Helen. How are you?
I'm doing well. It is rather early here in Vancouver, so I'm just waking up.
What time is it for you now, Helen?
It's currently 8 in the morning.
Oh, that's really early. That's really early. Okay, so we will talk really slowly, so you can just
We'll have
wake
a
up
stream.
slowly. Now, take a coffee. I would suggest take a coffee monster, and then we can, of course, welcome also all the people in the YouTube chat. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. I'm not gonna say hello to everybody like calling their names, but it's great to have you all here, and of course, everybody's super excited for Helen to be here on the show, and look at this. Corolla is also wide awake at 8 a.m. That is wonderful. Thank you so much for being here. Gerda is here as well. Hello, everyone. Welcome, Gerda. It's so amazing that you're all here. All right. If you're in the chat and you have a question for any of us, is it me, Lori, or Helen? Just ask it, and we will fit in the questions if we think the time is there. So if your question is not answered immediately, please have some patience with us because, well, we will have a conversation and I will make sure that most of the questions will be covered. No worries. All right. Before we start the show, we always do a pen check. And Lori, I would like to ask you to start with your pen check, your last pen check.
The pen check.
Okay, my last pen check. This is actually special for me because Helen was my inspiration for this pen. I think I speak for a lot of people in the community when I say that she was the bridge from the stationery community to the fountain pen community because I was semi-active in the journaling community, and I followed Helen for her Hobonichi content. And she one day posted a video about the basics of the fountain pen, and I was just in awe. I'd never really seen one in action. And anyways, it was right after that, Helen, that I ordered my TWSBI. And this is just a classic. And she used this in the video and recommended it. And I trusted her. And so this was the first real pen. I think I got a Metropolitan and a Kakuno, but this was the first one that I was really connected to. And my first bottle of ink, I decided to ink it up with my first bottle of ink that I ever bought, that I got in Cambridge, Mass, right in Harvard Square. I went and got Pelikan Brilliant Brown. And this is kind of what started everything. So I thought it was really appropriate to have it here to welcome and to thank you, Helen, because I don't know if you really realize the impact you've had on so many people.
And every time someone says that I got them into fountain pens, I always apologize.
Thousands of dollars later, Helen.
apologize.
But she's very good about, like, she recommends like budget-friendly things. And I think you had just purchased the M800 for graduation.
Yeah.
And that was a really big deal, or it was in one of those opening videos. But no, you are incredible. And I'm grateful to you. And yeah, I'm happy you're here. And I still love my TWSBI.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I think I agree on this. Like the TWSBI Eco is, I think it's one of the best fountain pens to start your fountain pen journey with, right? Because it's a piston filler. You can use any ink that you like. It's affordable. So I think it's a great pen to start your fountain pen journey with.
Yeah, I was really excited and horrified that I was spending $49 on a pen. But
Completely
the rest
understand
is
that.
history, as we say.
And even with now, I still reach for the TWSBI Eco pretty often. It's a really good pen.
It really is a good pen. There's a reason it's a
Yeah.
classic, and there's a reason it's recommended. And I feel like it's unique enough, because I felt like the Metropolitan was a little bit like, made me feel like my grandfather's pen or something. Like this was more contemporary, and you could see the ink, and you had to buy a bottle to go with it, so you felt like you were really in the club, and it was just really fun. So yeah, I love it. And this went missing for like 9 months, and I was
It's
really
really
heartbroken. And then I found it in the back seat of my car, and it still wrote like a champ.
Of course.
Yes.
It's such a reliable pen as well. All right. Thank you, Lori, for your pen check for this week. Helen, what would be your pen for the pen check for this week?
Well, I know we're talking about the Esterbrook collaboration, but I decided to bring out my Aurora 88 marbled ebonite with the rose gold trim. And I got this from Appelboom, so I thought it was fitting. And yeah, I have always wanted like a wooden pen with like wood grain, but I find that a lot of pen makers, they don't work with wood, or if they do, like I'm really picky about like the color and like the shade of wood, I suppose. So I never found one that I liked. But then I saw this, and even though it's marble, it almost resembles wood grain. So yeah, I fell in love with it. And this is also my first Aurora, so pretty.
It's a beautiful piece.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Are you enjoying it, Helen?
It's super nice.
Yeah, and it comes with its own ink. I think it's Aurora Brown or like Aurora Sepia. And it's like the perfect match. So that's what I just have it inked up with.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. I do love Aurora as well.
Yeah, and I believe
You also have your...
Yes, I was saying to Helen,
Please go ahead, Helen.
Yes, I just got the same. Yes, I love mine as well. This is my third Aurora, because I had the I have a couple of them, and they were not enough. And I'd like to try something different. So it was a different material. I wanted to try the ebonite, and then I also had the Architect grind, which is new to me as well. So yeah, it's beautiful. I love Aurora pens very much. I have the Volterra. That was my first love. Yeah.
Sorry,
That's where it all started.
What happened?
It's okay. It's okay. Eventually, at the end, when everything is uploaded, and we will put everything together, we will have the footage from you that's recorded on your own web browser. All right, let's have a look at my pen check, because of course I also brought a pen with me here today. I have here an Esterbrook. It's not the Esterbrook, because we will talk later about the Esterbrook, which is of course very special. But I have here a collaboration with Esterbrook at the Dutch Pen Show. So it was also a Collab pen. And what's very special about this one is that it has the... Does it
have the logo?
It has a Dutch Pen Show logo on it, and of course it has a nice box and everything. But especially the color, I really like the color, and it's not the sea glass color. There are some comparison photos somewhere on the internet where you can clearly see this is a different color, and it's super nice. and it's a beautiful rider. I think Esterbrook with this model, it's like, yeah, a true classic. And I think the collaboration that you did with them, Helen, yeah. We will talk about that later on in the show. Because before I
We have to
spoil
build
everything,
up to it. It's like the big
Yes.
unveiling. Yes.
yeah. But I'm pretty sure a lot of people have already seen it somewhere online. But we will talk more about that later. All right, Helen, we have a question for you from our previous guest, which was Salva from Leonardo Pens. And his question was, what do you like about the ink flow? Do you like ABS plastic feeds more, or the ebonite feeds?
Well, okay. First, I am fangirling a little bit because Leonardo is one of my favorite pen companies.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say I prefer ebonite feeds. I think it just like flows better with like I usually write with like extra fine or fine nibs, and I find it to flow better with ebonite feeds. But I don't discriminate. If a pen writes well, then it writes well.
That's a beautiful answer. I like that. Of course, we don't discriminate. We like every fountain pen equally. So let's see. I saw a question from somebody. Helen, I have a question here from Hearts Failing. And the question is, are you looking forward to a new fountain pen for your collection? Or how do you do that?
Probably not for a very long time, although I say that every time. I think the next pen that I would like to get is probably a Nikaya from Japan. But yeah, I think it's like custom made, so it's like a lengthier process. And Lord knows I don't need another pen at the moment, so it's probably far out in the future.
How long do they take to customize, or what's the process, I wonder?
Probably at least a few weeks or a few months.
Oh, okay.
You pick everything from like the material to the nib and the shape and all that. Beautiful.
Maybe you could treat yourself for your 9th anniversary.
Don't test me.
That's a good reason. And otherwise you have to make up a reason, right? To get yourself a new fountain pen.
I'm the queen of making up reasons for to buy a pen.
Eric Garcia says right now it is about 6 months waiting time for a Nakaya. So that's really interesting. And he was tempted to buy one for his birthday. So that's really interesting. Kelly has a question for you. I think it's for you, Helen. How many fountain pens do you have right now?
Probably 10 or 12. 10 to 12, including like my TWSBIs and my first pen, which was a Pilot Metropolitan. I think I have a decent sized, relatively controlled collection.
You're very disciplined, Helen, I will say.
Definitely. We're not calling you. Yeah, we're not calling you an addict yet. That's fine. 10, 12 pieces is okay.
How about
Trish,
you?
Trish, you have a question. We will come to that later on in the show. First, Helen, I would like to ask you to tell a little bit more about your company, the Coffee Monsters Company, how it all started and how it's going now, and what are your future plans, of course.
Oh, yikes. That is a loaded question. Yes,
I know.
I started the TheCoffeeMonsterzCo in 2016, and I was 15 years old then. I think that's like grade 9 or grade 10 in high school. And I sell primarily, I started by selling planner stickers, but nowadays we sell things like washi tapes, sticky notes, and apparently like fountain pens now. So it's been,
Why not?
Yeah. And I started it because I mostly did bullet journaling content, and a lot of people like wanted tutorials or like stickers of my little doodles or like lettering. So because I was in high school and I didn't like have really an allowance or a job or anything like that, I sold an ebook of my doodles. And with like an ebook, you don't have to like pay for production costs or anything, right? So with that fund, that's how I purchased like my first sticker cutting machine and paper and printer. And I just like slowly built off from that. And yeah, it's a crazy 9 years. And as for future plans, I'm not too sure. I have joked many times on social media that I might retire for my 10-year anniversary. So we'll see.
No, please don't do that. Don't do that. A lot of people will be left heartbroken, so please don't.
But yeah, if I'm not joking about retiring for my 10-year anniversary, I think I will still like kind of scale back my store a little bit just to keep things a little bit more manageable. Currently, we have a subscription, and that is one thing that I might like stop doing in the near future just to like focus more on our regular store. We also have recently moved into like a warehouse space, and I'm thinking of potentially adding to that so that we have like increased inventory. So yeah.
That's exciting. I'm
And
sure.
how
Oh, go ahead. I was just
No,
curious
please go
how
ahead,
you
Lori.
scaled along the way, like how I feel like there must have been a lot of new experiences, like as you reached each milestone, whether you were like expecting it or not, and like having to move into a warehouse and I'm assuming increase your staff and, let go of some of the responsibilities being a small business owner. And I see that you're very careful, and I suspect being an artist, you're particular about stuff. And is it hard to let go of certain parts of your business?
Yeah. I don't know. Like unlike you guys, I feel like I'm not very like extroverted, and I don't have like that business acumen. I think I see myself primarily more as an artist, and I just happen to have this opportunity. So it's very difficult for myself to like bear the risk of like, for example, signing a new office lease or like hiring staff, because I'm, constantly worried about like whether I can pay for my staff's wages and things like that. So
And it's all normal. I have that same feeling. I think it's all normal, right? That you have those kind of I don't know the English word for it, but you're a little bit like holding things off, because you have to carry that responsibility.
Right. So yeah, especially like with the office space. I think we moved into that space 2 years ago only. And that was a very big step. And prior to that, like everything was within our own home. So like it got to a point where like every morning I walk out of my bedroom and it's like boxes everywhere.
Oh, there.
So it took a very, very long time for me to like let
You want
go.
to brush your teeth, you first have to move a couple of boxes to brush your teeth.
Have a few emoji stickers on the mirror while you're brushing.
Yeah. So yeah, I just tend to be a lot more risk averse and things like this.
How does your regular day look like now? Because you see yourself mainly as an artist, right? So if we're talking about percentages, how many percentage of the day are you the artist, and how many percentage of the day are you running the business?
That's a good question.
For me, when I design, I really need to like get in the flow of things. And for that reason, like I can't do like a little bit of design work here and there and get interrupted. So what I to do is like dedicate certain days just for design work. And it's not so great because like when I start designing, I forget about being a human. Like I don't talk to people, I don't drink water, I don't eat. I just kind of like stay focused. But then on the other days, like I get through like emails and I manage staff. So it's more so like day by day.
Not like hour per hour, more like day by day.
Yeah.
That's much better, I think. And where do you get your inspiration and flow from? Because if you're not eating and drinking, I don't think that's a smart choice. But I understand. Coffee.
That's my exception.
Yeah. And your
What's your
inspiration?
favorite
Where do
fruit?
you get your inspiration from?
Oh yeah, I want to hear that.
A lot of my inspiration is actually just from my customers. I think I'm 9 years into this business, so I feel like a lot of the staple and basic things I have already done, like stickers for groceries or stickers for cleaning. I've already done that like many times. So past a certain point, like I can't really draw inspiration from my own life anymore. So like, for example, my customers will have suggestions on like stickers for parents or stickers for like retirement or something like that. And that's not something that I can relate to. Yeah, I have it's kind of like a running joke in my community where I have like an endless list of requests. And I tend to like go through that and pick out what interests me.
What is the strangest request that you got?
Oh, I'm not sure if I can say because I might offend someone.
No, but it doesn't have to be like offending, but more like, wow, I didn't think about that, or that's really cool. It would never have came to my mind.
I'm not sure if I can think of something on the spot.
Did you get like political requests at point?
Quite a bit.
Yeah, I was thinking probably. If you're trying to like stay neutral, I'm like, I can see that being something that you might, yeah.
No, we're not going to talk politics here. Let's talk about pens. I think that's a better thing, right? So let's start a little bit about pens because, well, of course, you're an amazing designer. And apparently, Esterbrook picked that up. Or did you reach out to Esterbrook, or how did that work?
Right. So I first met Brian of Esterbrook last summer in the New York Stationery Fest. And that is also where I met Lori, although like very briefly. So I think thinking about it now, I think the marketplace was split so that like one end had all of the fountain pen makers, and then the other end was more like scrapbooky, stationery and like planner stickers. So we were literally on like opposite ends. And then I think there was like a little bit of ruckus around my end. So I think I kind of like popped up on Brian's radar. And that weekend was a little bit of a blur. So I'm not too sure like if this is exactly how it happened. But I believe he came up to our table prior to the marketplace opening on day 2. And he introduced himself and he invited me over to his table because he was interested in working with me. So on the last day before the marketplace opened, I stopped by. He gave like a wonderful introduction of Esterbrook. If you ever spoken with Brian, he's an amazing salesperson. And he gifted me one of the Estie pens and no strings attached. He just told me to play around with it, see how I like it. And that's exactly what happened. Like for the next few months, I didn't intentionally reach for the pen that he gifted me, but I truly loved writing with it. And I was like, okay, I love this pen and I'm interested in this collaboration.
What pen was it that he gave to you? Now I'm really curious.
It was also one of the Esties. It's the green Back to the Land pen.
Oh, nice. That's a good color. I like that color.
That's a good one. By
all
a
right.
ruckus, I just want to say Helen's being very modest when she says a ruckus. There was like a 4-hour wait to see her. And I think that's what she's
Really?
referring to. Yes. Like you would check in at 11 and they would give you like a ticket, like come back at 3:30 to walk through her line. So I can see why it was a blur for you, Helen, because it was a constant flow of people and people wanting to take pictures with her and people wanting your time. And I'm sure that was a lot, but yeah, I can see why
How was
that.
it for you, Helen, as an introvert?
It was, well, by day 3, I lost my voice. And then, yeah, it took about a month for me after coming back to like fully recover and get back to my normal state. And yeah, I like didn't talk to my family for like a week. I was like, I need to rest my voice.
Wow. That would have been a lot for you. I can imagine that.
Yeah.
But luckily, you met Brian and you went to their table and you played around with the Estie and you had an idea. And there was a question from Trish. Helen, what was your inspiration for your Esterbrook pen design? But first, I want to show a little bit how it looks like for the people that haven't seen it. I have the pen here. First, I have the box. Tabletop Treasures is there on top. You see the drawings of Helen. Helen, can you maybe describe what we are seeing here?
Yeah, it's a little emoji doing their journaling with the Esterbrook pen. And there's just like a bunch of fun stationery items everywhere. And an iced coffee that they forgot about, which is relevant.
Oh, yeah. Really important. And then what I really like, if you flip it over like on the side, you see these drawers, right? And because the box is a drawer, and that's really cool. I really like this design feature that you added. But also important here on the back is this little text. Helen, would you like to read it out loud for the complete? Because I think that you are the one that came up with this text. So if you're reading this, then it would be like how it should be.
Well, first it says March 5th because that's our actual anniversary date. But the production, there was like delays in the production, so the March 5th date is no longer relevant. But yeah, it says a desk scattered with paper pieces, pens, and stationery is a common scene among stationery enthusiasts. If you shuffle things around, you might find some forgotten treasures. Be careful though, apparently there are blobby people-like critters that will populate abandoned desk drawers. The lore says once these critters invade, their whimsical charm cannot be shaken off. You have been warned.
Fantastic, Helen.
Yeah. They should have put like a voice message inside the box with you're reading this out loud here. But anyway, when we're opening the box, what we have are, of course, stickers. Oh,
So cute.
we have stickers, and we have emoji sticker. We have an Esterbrook sticker, of course, ink sticker, more emoji stickers, and of course a sticker where the emoji is cleaning his or her pen. So that's also really important. Don't forget to clean your pens, people. That's really important. And then we have the pen here inside, on the back, on the sides of the drawer. If I can say there's a drawer, it says Scritch and Scratch with a beautiful pen design again from Helen, which is a cool design feature as well. And then we have the pen here. Let me open it up.
Have you lifted the little pillow thing?
Wow, no. Oh, this is really cool. Honestly, I'm just opening this right now for the first time because Esterbrook sent this to me with. I had to fight with them to send it to me over because they told me like everybody would be super jealous if I already have the pens and nobody yet. But I said, we have Helen as a guest on the show. I have to have it. So that's why they sent it over to me. So everybody that's watching this right now and is jealous, I'm so sorry for you guys. But so we have this. The pen is in here. And when you look at this is so cute.
So many details. I love it.
It's also, you can now also use this. You can use this gift box.
That is so cute.
As a drawer for, let's say, washi tape, stickers, things like that. So you can even only buy this pen just for the box.
I know, right?
That would be enough. Skip the pen, just buy the box.
I've gotten a lot of questions asking to sell the box by itself.
I can see why.
Yeah, it makes
so
sense.
Fantastic.
It
Yes.
makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But let's have a look at the pen, because we have the pen here. And Helen, could you describe it, what we see?
Yeah, so this is the SD model from Esterbrook. And the barrel, I don't know how to describe this color. It's like a very light tan, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And then it has gold hardware. The grip has like 2 darker rings. It looks black, but it's actually a really dark brown.
Okay. And what makes it super special is when we open the cap, we have this grip section.
Yeah, and that was done by Jonathon Brooks.
Very nice.
Does the camera pick it up? Yes, there.
Gorgeous. Looks like beautiful coffee swirls.
Yeah, every pen is different. So some will have like darker swirls. I think mine is like is lighter and has like more.
Yeah.
Yours seems to have a lot more darker browns.
Cool.
Yeah, I think, but that's the material that Jonathon makes. Of course, every piece is unique. But I think the colors that you can see here on the trim, it matches perfectly what's here on the grip section. So I think they matched that.
Oh, I didn't notice. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And of course, we cannot forget the nib. Will my camera pick this up?
Was there an emoji on? Oh, so cute.
Yeah.
I love how much personality it has while also being neutral. And I love neutral. I love my neutrals. And it's just beautiful, Helen.
Lori, this pen has your name on it.
It really does. Right up my alley.
I don't know. Probably you already knew it, but I will just tell it to you anyway. This pen is a Lori pen, so
for sure,
it's yours. But it doesn't come all by itself. It's not just the pen, because we can all make just a pen. That's all fine. But Helen had the idea to make a little bit extra, so she also created this.
Oh, Blotterpaper.
Blotterpaper.
Wow, that's so
again,
cute.
Helen, are amazing designs on there. As you can see, here's the pen. Where is it? Here's the pen. We have the coffee. Where's the coffee? Here's the coffee. No, here's the coffee. Yeah, it's mirrored, right? With the emoji, and we have a cookie here, of course, really important. So it's all there. So we have the pen, we have the blotter paper, and then something that I also really like is, I'm opening it up right now for the first time. First let me show the packaging. So we have an emoji here on the ink bottle. It's closed with this strap here. We have another emoji, but also this. It's all in the details.
Seriously.
Yeah. So it's written here on the ink bottle that the Forgotten Iced Tea is 30 milliliters. Sorry?
You said tea, it's coffee.
Sorry, Forgotten Iced Coffee. Wow, okay. My bad. I need some coffee, I think.
Yeah.
Many refills per container. It contains Esterbrook for 30%, the TheCoffeeMonsterzCo 30%, coffee grounds 15%, Arctic ice cubes 10%, oat milk 9%, and unknown sparkles for 6%. But there's also a little side note: it's not safe for consumption, so please don't drink.
Don't drink your ink.
Don't drink your ink.
Funny story about that. I think a few days after I sent in the design work for the box, I noticed that the numbers didn't add up to 100%. So I had to correct that afterwards.
That's fun.
Yeah, it's all
Many
fun.
details.
And if you open this up, there's this little.
And the little
That's
emoji on the
why-
side had the key. Oh, that's
Had
so
the key.
cute.
Yeah. So we open it up, and then
Wow.
we have the Forgotten Iced Coffee ink. Super nice. It's a
How does
really
it
nice
feel like
box.
looking at this packaging and just knowing that this is all your creation and it's so well received and loved, Helen?
Still doesn't feel real. Yes, these sort of things, like I'm still like a small business, so this is something that I would never have been able to do by myself. So yeah, it really is a dream come true to do this with Esterbrook.
And it's so
Helen, do
unique.
you maybe have a sample of how the ink looks like? Because I don't have that here. Maybe you can show it.
I do. I have a written sample. I don't know if it'll pick up well. In writing, probably not, right? It's a very...
Oh, but we got an ID, so that's good.
How does it compare to your Aurora, the cognac ink or the ebonite?
Much darker. This is more of like a grayish taupe. So like it's a lighter brown. But I told Brian that like it has to be legible. So even though it's lighter, it still shows up very well in writing.
I think that's the magic, is when you can find a lighter ink that is still very legible and maybe has some really nice shading qualities. Because I do love the look of light ink, but then when I write, if I can't see it, it's very frustrating. So it's hard to find that perfect balance. So that's nice, because the writing did look very nice.
All right, let me have a look at the comments, because I was so into revealing this complete set that I completely forgot about the comments. So sorry for that. Hearts Failing is saying that it's a love the frosty matte bottle. And Trish has a good question. How does it compare to your Robert Oster, the coffee company, Collab?
Right. So with Robert Oster, we did 2 inks. Day to Night was like a plummy purple, but I think Trish is asking about Coffee Monster, which was a brown. That one is much darker. That one is probably like similar to the color of this thing, the circle. And then the ink is like more like probably the brown up here.
Okay.
So it's very dark.
Okay, so it's a little shade lighter.
Yeah, and it's a lot more desaturated, gray leaning. Yeah.
Mira's saying it's so cute. And Kelly has a really important question, because she's wondering, are the stickers that come with the fountain pen washi stickers?
They are indeed. It's on washi paper, so it's semi-transparent.
Oh, nice.
That's good. Trish is lucky because she already saw a sneak peek at the California Pen Show, and she cannot wait. A lot of people cannot wait. Kelly cannot wait either. Is it April 5th already? This fountain pen is so beautiful. Love the nip emoji. The colors are beautiful. That's indeed correct. The 5th of April is the official launch, right?
Yes.
I have a question that I don't know that you can answer, but I'm sure it's on a lot of people's minds. How limited is it? Is this something that Esterbrook may potentially do another run with?
I have asked Brian because my audience is very familiar with like pre-orders, so I was hoping that we could do like an initial run, and then if it sells out very quickly, maybe we can do a pre-order. But I think one thing is like due to the special material from Jonathon, and also like us customizing the nib, which I think is something that they don't often do. It requires like a much bigger quantity to do every production batch. So I don't think we will be doing a pre-order, but if you want to do a pre-order, I would recommend emailing Esterbrook and rallying for it.
Brian opens his inbox to like 2,000 messages.
From Carla's indeed also saying Jonathan from Carolina Pen Company is amazing. That little piece that he's adding, it's a small piece, but it's a really important piece, I think, for the pen. The brand design is on point, and Jamie Loom is saying adorableness is overloaded. We have here a comment. I love this. I cannot wait to try to get one, because I think that would be really the case here. It's really like trying to get one, because this one is one of those pens that will sell out super quickly. I already had contact with Esterbrook to see if we could get more, and well, hopefully we can. So we're working really hard on that. All right.
So is this going to be going out to all of the retailers? Well, Appelboom, you'll be able to, it's not just like, is it an Esterbrook site exclusive, like Esterbrook and Coffee Monsters?
No, I think when I spoke with Esterbrook, they told me that Helen will have like the majority of the pens, which completely makes sense, of course, and then the rest will be distributed under a couple of retailers. I don't think that it will go to all the retailers, because well, they're just limited pieces, and this is not a pen that they want to sit on the shelf with a retailer for a really long time, especially when there are people that are really trying to get one. Right. So I don't think that you will find it everywhere, but well, hopefully we will get enough pieces. That would be nice, and otherwise Helen will have a lot of them. At least that was something that I was told. I'm not sure if they were allowed to tell me how many pieces you will get, Helen, but you will get a lot. I know that. Anna was asking which nibs will be available and will the nib be able to change. I'm not sure. What nibs? Do you know that, Alan?
Yeah, so we will have extra fine, fine, medium, and then, yes, as Carola said, Gina is going to be doing a special grind. So there's going to be a journaler nib. And a lot of people have been asking what that is. It's, I believe, described to be a medium stub. So it's like not a full, like 1.1 millimeter stub, but like a smaller stub. So it's more usable in like daily writing.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's super nice. The Esterbrook pens, the regular Esterbrook pens have a variety of specialty nibs that they offer, like the scribe nib, the needlepoint nib, etc., and the journaler nib by Gina. That's by far the most popular nib. So it's I'm really happy that she's doing the grinds. And was also asking, are the nibs interchangeable? Can you change them? It will. It's the regular Esterbrook nib. So if you want to have like a different kind of nib on there, like let's say a needlepoint nib, you can put a regular Esterbrook nib on there. So that is possible, but you won't have that special emoji.
You won't have the emoji.
So yeah.
But the little emoji can travel to your other Esties if you want. If you do that.
Yeah, definitely. That's a nice one. That's a nice one. Will the blotting paper also be available on Appelboom? Yes, we will also have that. And Helen, maybe you know that. Will the journaler nib also have the emoticon?
Yes. So I think Gina is going to take the medium, like the regular medium nib, and she's going to grind it into a journaler.
Oh, that's super nice. That's super nice. All right. I also need to talk a little bit about some other pens that will be arriving here at Appelboom or just arrived here at Appelboom. I wrote down a couple, but I will cut it down a little bit because, well, we talked so much about this Esterbrook collaboration, which is pretty cool and deserved all the attention. So the first one that I want to announce is
New products.
The pen that Lori was influenced by. It's the TWSBI Eco. It will come out in a new color. TWSBI announced last week. The color of the name is Slate Blue with Onyx. It looks really nice. Have a look at our website if you're curious about the color. We don't have it here in the store yet. We will have it, I think, next week or the week after, but it will arrive here shortly, and it's a super nice color. And as Lori and Helen already explained, the TWSBI is a really nice entry-level pen. So if you would like to start with writing with a fountain pen, that's definitely something that you would like to look into. Another pen that is launched today is, and we already have it here in the store, is a Nahvalur Nautilus Ti Black fountain pen. It's titanium. The material is titanium. It's in black. It's completely in black. It's quite heavy. The nib is also in black, so it's a really blacked out pen. It's super nice. It's heavy. We have it in the store here. It comes with steel nibs, with 14K nibs, options in fine and medium, and the steel options are in fine, medium, broad, double broad, and stub. So we have it here on the new Nautilus design.
What is the hole in the middle?
It's an ink window, so you can see how much ink you have left in your pen.
Yeah, it's meant to look like the ships, like the ink window. Like that's why the name is Nautilus. It's a really cool ink window. I think that's really unique.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's super nice. I'm really happy with them bringing out this one. They launched a similar one in a lighter color earlier this year as a celebration of something. I cannot remember what it was exactly, but that was sold out within a few days. So I'm really happy that they have it now back in black. All right, last pen that I would like to mention and just arrived in the store. I already mentioned a few weeks ago, but it is the Pelikan M200 Marbled Red. It's the entry-level Pelikan. It has a steel nib on it, and it has the classic design. Wait, let me remove this little piece of paper, which nobody cares about. It has the Pelikan B clip. It has a stainless steel nib, gold-colored. Here you go. It has a piston filling mechanism. There is this little ink window where you can see. It's a really dark ink window, so you have to really keep it up to the light to see how much ink is left in there. And they launch it now in the marbled red, which I think is a really pretty color. Lori, what do you think of this new pen?
I love the marble piece of it, that when you turn it, you get different shades of red. I think I can envision that with a oxblood ink would be beautiful. I think it's lovely, or writer's blood, really nice. I love red. I don't have I actually have the red M600 with the white. I love the white accents too. That's really pretty.
Yeah, no, it's super nice. I think that
They have an ink. Did they release an ink with it?
Not with this.
Not yet.
No, this is just, I think, a regular collection that they launched for the red one, because it already exists in blue and in brown. So I think this is just another color that they added. All right. Enough about the new products. Lori, do you have a question for Helen?
So many. Actually, one of my questions was, where do you see TheCoffeeMonsterzCo in 5 years? But I feel like we kind of, I don't know if you want to answer that or if you touched on it as far as the future goes.
I will probably be in Italy, just retired, eating pastries. But answering seriously, I think I would like to maintain the TheCoffeeMonsterzCo as is, relatively small, but maybe rely more on like international retailers, especially in like Europe, Asia, Australia, to carry more of our products because I know like shipping internationally is quite expensive for customers, especially things with like duties and tariffs and things like that. So I think that's going to be my focus moving forward. Not necessarily like expanding our operations here in BC to be something huge and like needing to expend more of my own energy, but rather just like getting on more retailers so that our products are more accessible elsewhere.
That's very exciting.
So we need to have a little chat together after this.
Get you in the Netherlands really fast. Well, that's really nice because it's a way of scaling your business and making it accessible to more people with hopefully like alleviating some of the heavy lifting for you on the shipping end. Because shipping, I mean, I get the shipping can be really difficult. And yes, across countries and borders and things like that, I'm sure expand that. Well, I don't know if I have time for one more question, but this is, I would just like to hear what do you think is the secret to your success? Because I think you are a very unique person in our community. You're very humble and very hardworking. And, but I'm curious what you would attribute your success to.
Well, thank you. I think part of it, actually a lot of it, I think is just luck with this sort of thing, because there are a lot of talented artists out there and a lot of people who work hard, but for some reason I have been given this opportunity. But I think another part of it is just that I always like put my customer at the forefront of like all of my decisions. I design things that I think my customers would like. I always just, I don't, like play into marketing schemes or anything like that. I just always try to be as transparent and personable with all of my customers. And I think when, like, even if someone doesn't explicitly see it, they can feel like when an artist has passion for their products and the things that they do. And I think people are just like naturally drawn to that. So, yeah.
It's great. I can see all of those points. I agree. I agree with a lot of that. You do make everybody feel like they're part of your Coffee Monsters Co. family, and you're very responsive and just, yeah, we appreciate you.
Thank you.
Wendy Sue is adding as well, Helen, your customer service is excellent, is super responsive, and she thanks you for that. So I think that's a great compliment. And especially if I see here in the comments how many people are enthusiastic about your Esterbrook that's coming out, I think that's a huge compliment for the work that you're doing. And Jamie Loom is adding, Helen has such beautiful energy. She draws people in. And Kelly is even an 8 years customer at DCMC and never any problems. And the team is perfect. Wow. Look, even more compliments from Corolla. We appreciate Helen so much.
Bring them on.
This person who cares about their community so much and they care about her. Well, I think, there's a lot of compliments.
Oh.
Another one. I have loved Coffee Monster products for years. So, I think, this pen is like the cherry on the cake, as we can say. And I'm wondering, after this great success, what it already is, without it being even launched, as you can see with all the requests and everything, will there be a Coffee Monsters Esterbrook collaboration 2.0?
We were talking about it. So initially we had another pen design in mind, but it took more like unique materials. I don't want to accidentally spill too much. And I was like, because this is our first like fountain pen ever, I wanted it to be like a model that was on the cheaper end of Esterbrook's line. So that's why we went with the Estie. But I think if this goes well, we might do a 2.0 that is a little bit more special.
Wow, super curious about that. All right, we're already here at the end of the show. And Helen, I would like to ask you to come up with a question for our next guest.
Oh,
I
we
think
froze
she
a little
froze.
bit. Oh
Well,
no.
just wait a little bit
Yeah.
till she comes back. In the meantime, I will answer Kelly. Kelly is asking, do you get all the nibs at Appelboom? Well, that's the plan. So we ordered a lot of pens with Esterbrook, and we have to give the nibs that we want to Esterbrook. We still have to give that to them. So that's the plan. Helen, you're back. Perfect. My question was if you can come up with a question for our next guest to start the show with next week.
Okay, so since I got to design my own pen and ink, my question for the next person is, what would be their dream pen and ink if they got to design one?
That's really good.
Great question.
Be your dream pen and ink. That's a really good question. I really like that. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining the chat. It was really lovely to see all the input from everybody. Sorry, wait, yes, this is better. Thank you so much for all the input with everybody. It was lovely. And well, Helen, I would really like to thank you for taking the time for joining us here on the podcast. It was an amazing episode. We learned so much about your pen, of course, but also about you and your company. Yeah, this one will. Yeah, it's just. I can look at it for the whole day. It's
really
design,
so much
everything.
fun.
Yeah.
Who's excited for April 5th?
Yeah. Just a few more weeks, everybody. Have a little bit of more patience. Lori, I would like to thank you for being my co-host here for the last 5 episodes. And I will miss you, I think, for sure. And hopefully you will come back one day, maybe to do this again.
Anytime. Thank you. I will miss this gig. I've looked forward to. We've had some really incredible guests, and it's been such a pleasure to get to know people and interact with your community over here, Joost. And I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you. And this was fantastic. It was so nice to get to know you a little bit more, Helen. And I hope we have more conversations in the future. And thank you to everybody in the chat. It was a good run, so much fun. I will be tuning in next week.
That's wonderful.
Do you have your co-host yet?
I'm not going to reveal that, so people just have to tune in next week to see who's going to be our co-host and our guest. So the talks are running, but it's not confirmed yet, so I cannot tell it here yet. But definitely
tune in next week to find out.
Yeah, definitely. So if you're watching this right now and you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, do that right now so you won't miss out the episode for next week. You can head over to the Juicy Broads YouTube channel as well, where you can find Lori, so you don't have to miss her, right? And Lori, your own YouTube channel is Lori's Boston Fountain, right?
Oh, that's my thrifting channel. That's my main channel, but my fountain pen channel is called Time with Tata. My last name, Time with Tata, and Juicy Broads is every other week on YouTube. Yeah,
that's good. That's great. Helen, again, thank you so much for being our guest here today. Everybody, go follow Helen if you haven't done that yet on Instagram to see all her beautiful designs. And on
YouTube as
hopefully on YouTube as well. Yes, sorry, on YouTube as well. Well, hopefully we see each other soon somewhere.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I think, I don't know if I talked to you specifically on Instagram, but I've been a big fan of Appelboom for many years. So this is also another pinch me moment.
No, come on. All right. Everybody, once again, thank you so much for watching, and we see you guys next week.
Bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.